It's an honour to speak to such a legend. Can you tell me what inspires you and keeps you motivated to still be producing amazing albums in 2014?
Well, Sebastian, it's for me, it's always new. For me, it's always like I'm just starting out. I just have this incredible passion for music and what I do, and I'm just very fortunate to be able to do it. So you put all that together, and I just think that it's an equation for ongoing and continuing creativity.
Frontiers president Safino Perugino approached you with the idea for Rated X. Was it an easy process to get so many legends together at the same time?
Not really. It was just a matter of who. It was just a matter of the right guys doing in the right slots, and having worked with Carmine before, I knew he was absolutely on target. And of course, Tony Franklin is just amazing. So we were very lucky to get him. And, then the search for the guitar players was a bit more difficult because we were looking for someone of renown, but at the same time, most people who were anything were working. For example, I had talked to Doug Aldrich after he left Whitesnake, but he had 3 projects going at the same time. So it was quite impossible for him to join ranks with us. And after being frustrated a number of times with Bruce Kulick, who couldn't commit to this band instead of a project. We wanted to be a band instead of a project, so everyone had to commit. So Bruce couldn't commit, Jeff Watson couldn't commit, and we finally turned to my guitar player, Carl Cochran, who's been with me through many solo albums. He's a very reliable guy, and at the same time, he's a guitar star waiting to happen. So, with that said, we gave him a couple of tracks, and the next thing we knew, we were off to the races because he fit right in perfectly. He knew exactly what we wanted, and I believe that in so doing created this Rated X sound.
The album is very retro, but with a modern feel. It took me right back to the late 70s, early 80s. How pleased are you with the end product?
Yes, absolutely. That was the goal. Our goal was to be a bit retro and to sort of do things that bands like Zeppelin and people were doing in those days. They were extending the arrangements of songs. They were performances in the middle of these songs, yet at the same time to make sure we had songs that would be remembered. And that's exactly what we want to do live, is the fact that we have these catchy songs, but at the same time, they've stretched them out, and the guys get a chance to perform on their individual instruments. So we know the live shows are going to be just off the hook. We are happy with the way it came out, very happy. During the recording, it was a bit difficult to tell because as we were starting to stack and layer the tracks, we weren't sure if everything was going to speak, so to say, speak out as well as it did. But in the end, we got Pat Reagan to mix it, and he's the guy that just absolutely put a difference in the frequencies and separation of sound so that you can hear each and every individual instrument perfectly and see they're all playing beautifully, but not and together. But at the same time, they're doing their own thing. It's pretty amazing. I'm really very proud of everybody on this record.
This is who I am. Is that your statement to the rock world that you are still here walking the street of dreams?
In a sense, yes. It's everyone's statement, in my opinion, for being an individual. I had that song kicking around for a while and was saving it for a solo album. But then when this Rated X started to really come together, I said, well, we need the best material. And I thought it was a very strong song in message and in content. And to make a long story short, that is a statement of individualism and individual stance. So it's not only mine, but it's anyone who wants to grab it and say the same thing. A lot of people and artists and musicians, whatever, they sort of go with the times. In other words, they become the fad of the day. If the music changes a bit and goes a bit more like sort of in a modern edge or an alternative way, they all start to lean that way because that's that in a fashion. So I think the song is quite modern in its approach, but at the same time, it's saying, we're going to stick to being who we are and what we're about. Because there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way. So it's everyone's anthem.
Are Rated X due to hit the road soon then in one form or another? And will that spread to Europe, do you think?
Yeah, we do plan on it. We are getting some dates now towards, I think, late June, July. The problem with this is that the CD has to come out. People have to get a word-of-mouth kind of thing going. You need to create a fire under this particular CD, all CDs for that matter, of unknown bands. Although we're known players, the promoters don't know how we sound collectively in Rated X. So once the people actually respond to this, which they have very positively, I believe that more and more gigs are going to start showing up because people are going to want to see us live. And that's the new paradigm today. Should I say it was pretty much always that way. Once you created a band and a sound, you really had to get the music out to the people. So once they get it, and once they really understand it, and it moves them and inspires them, they're going to want to see us live. So I think we start sometime late June, early July in Europe, and we're also trying to get some dates in the States, etc. I know it's going to be a building process, possibly a long and tiresome one, but we're ready to stand the test because we're committed to this band. We really feel it's got legs, and we're really looking forward to a second album as well.
You can still belt out a tune. How do you maintain your voice and keep it sounding so good?
Yeah, well, I had a very good teacher early on. It took me 6 teachers to find the right one. And he taught me to sing correctly. And what I mean by that is many people have gone for lessons and to sing correctly, but they all end up with nodes, polyps, throat infections, things like that. I've been lucky, number one, to be a healthy guy. I take care of myself, eat the right foods, work out. But at the same time, you've got to sing correctly. And you don't sing from the throat. You sing from the diaphragm. And you support with your core, and you bypass through the throat to create the notes. And I think this has really helped me all these years, 40 years or so on, to maintain the voice, and not only maintain it, but to actually develop it to a higher level. I think what I'm doing on Rated X is very clean, very tough, full sound, and I found some new ways to do things as well. As you go along in life, you start, the experience piles up, and you start to be better than you were. It's kind of like a fine wine, really. I think if a person maintains their health and sings correctly, plays correctly, what have you, they're going to improve with age and not degenerate. So I urge everyone to get a good teacher and to use it correctly.
When you go live with Rated X, are you going to be playing just stuff from Rated X albums, or are you going to be playing any stuff from your previous work?
Good question. Absolutely, we're going to play previous works. Everybody, we all have songs that people would want to hear. Whether it's from Tony's work with Jimmy Page, Whitesnake, what have you, Carmine's work with Rod Stewart, Cactus, Vanilla Fudge, Blue Murder, whatever. We could go on and on. The lists go on. So we plan on doing a bunch of material from those bands that we have been launched from, obviously showing respect. And then we'll play some Rated X as well, intermingled with it. So it should be a really good show. We're trying to keep it something that's very different for the audience, exciting, and yet at the same time nostalgic. Because I think that this music is good music, it's great music, and it should be listened to again and again. For example, we have a heavy metal version of Do You Think I'm Sexy? Because Carmine co-wrote that with Rod Stewart. So to make a long story short, we said, well, how do we put this into an arrangement? And there's a really great, kind of a heavy metal arrangement of it, and I think people would be stunned to actually hear this.
That sounds amazing. You have a lot of career highlights be with Deep Purple, Rainbow, etc. If you could clutch something straight away out of the air, what would you choose?
Well, for me, Rainbow was my absolute breakthrough into the world stage, and got many, many great memories. But I have to say, when we played the Garden here at Madison Square Garden in New York City, it's where I used to go to see a lot of shows, and we were headlining over the Scorpions and sold out, and that is kind of like you have arrived, So that moment for me was absolutely the personification, of everything I had worked for up until then. So it was just a huge moment. We were actually told by management to play it down, to relax on it. It's just another gig. But no way was it just another gig. It was a moment in time for me. All my friends, family were there, and all of the people in the tri-state area who would go to the Garden or have known me from different bands, local bands. They had seen me finally headlining this stage. So I have to say that was a defining moment.
Is there really a viable possibility that Rainbow could reform one day?
Yeah, we really should. I mean, it's my feeling that this, first of all, it's the 40th year reunion. It would be a reunion for Rainbow, 2015. And I think that, first of all, the fans deserve it. There's a lot of people who never got the chance to see Rainbow.
No,
and
I didn't.
many bands, I've been told many times that new bands have come up just listening to Rainbow's style and have branched out off of that particular band, probably more than a lot of bands that are out there today, as far as stylistically, including Black Moon style. I mean, he actually pretty much invented the half step, and that's what all the metal is based on now. Mm-hmm. So, in music, I mean, the half step. And to make a long story short, I think Richie deserves it. Absolutely. He's iconic, and he deserves to go out in a big flash, and then he can continue with his Black One's Night project. But, I think we should do something, to honor this legendary band. And I'm pushing for it, and I'm doing a lot of promo on it in the hopes that it will reach Richie, whom I may have an audience with, I believe, next week or the week after Christmas. And we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about some things. And we'll see where it goes from there. I do respect whatever he wants to do. I understand he's done it all. He's nothing really, his dreams have been fulfilled. But at the same time, I think he's a bit nostalgic, and he might acquiesce to wanting to do a few specialized shows. So we'll see where it ends up, but keep your fingers crossed.
I love both Dio era Rainbow and, of course, your time with the band.
Well, I'll tell you, when I play live, and I still play all the Rainbow songs and some Purple songs, I do a lot of Dio. I love Ronnie's stuff. I knew Ronnie from when he was in Elf, Cortland, New York. We're not that far away from each other. And great blues singer, great guy. And he was a mentor to me. So I still love doing Man on Silver Mountain and Stargazer and all those. Of course, I do it my way. But, I think he'd be honored that I'm trying to keep the tradition alive, because I don't think anyone else is really doing that. There's no one out there that's doing it. I know Graham's not doing it. He does his bit, but that's it. So I would definitely do all cross sections of Rainbow. This would be, I'm doing all that live now.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. If we get to play with Richie again, it will be the same. We'll just honor every inclusion of Rainbow. And for the fans, we'll try to bring on special guests. We'll make this thing really big. And do it the right way, so that we all have a lot of respect for this band and Richie Blackmore.
After producing so many different musical styles in your career, is there any style you wish you had done but never got round to performing, recording?
Well, I love different styles. I grew up on different music all the time. singers do, because it is rock, and I know that, for example, in Rainbow, Richie didn't want that at all, and neither did I. I didn't think it was appropriate for a band like that. So I think you've got to sing within the project you're doing, whatever band you're doing, and you have to be aware of that. But yeah, I've got enough material now to kind of do this new country album that I've been kicking around for 2 or 3 years, and would love to do an R&B soul album at some point, and just have some fun, really, stretch out, do something different, Okay. So thanks for asking. Appreciate that.
What advice would you give to anyone starting a band in today's climate of X Factor and illegal downloading? And are you happy that you started in the music business when you did, or would you want to be starting now in the music business?
Wow, I think anyone starting now, it's there's two. There's advantages and disadvantages to the internet. I'm sure there's a lot of really good, talented artists out there that are getting inundated and buried by a lot of wannabes, because the internet has made it available for these wannabes to post their wannabe songs and wannabe, personalities. But so I think that's a disadvantage to some of the artists who are really sincere and serious about things. So it's pretty tough nowadays for them to break through all that. Occasionally, someone does, but more than most, these guys are basically flash in the pans. They've got one song or something, and they don't sustain the test of time. So my advice, and advice is a dangerous thing to give anyone else because it's singular, but I would say you have to have discipline, you have to have desire, you have to have a dream, and you have to have a goal. And without a goal, it's just a dream. A dream without a goal is really nothing. So you need to set yourself some goals. And also, never give up, never surrender. That's just the way it is if you're serious. So we'll see who's the flash in the pan, who's going to come and go, and who's going to be left to be in a time capsule, so to speak. Stand the test of time. It's a tough game out there because of the downloads, free downloads. They've taken away a major stream of revenue from us all, because it's you don't walk into a restaurant and get your food for free, do you?
Absolutely.
It's just not fair to the owner, who put out money for that food, and it costs us money to do these records. It costs us time, blood, sweat, and tears. So to have them just given off free is shocking, really. I've gotten used to it now. I understand it, and the only way to make real money is live. So you have to get out, you have to be in front of people, and you have to play live. So you better have your goods when you do that, because you're going to be completely exposed. And these people who use these tracks and who use all this pre-recorded music when they play live, it's just not going to work. People, you can't fool the people, and you need to get out there and really have the goods. So all those things combined, for any new and upcoming artist, is going to have to be met, and they're going to have to take it very seriously. And I wish them very good luck.
When the time comes, what would you wish your epitaph to be?
When my time comes for what?
When you pop off. Sorry.
I don't know. I have a couple of other businesses and things like that, diversified. But, family and things like that. So I've got enough to keep me busy. But I think I'd always like to sort of keep writing and keep active, producing, developing new acts, things like that, until they throw the dirt on me.
Yeah. But what I mean is, what would you like?
It all.
I know it does. What would you like to be remembered for, though?
Actually, a contribution. Just contributing, in music is a very strong force, and I'd love to be remembered just for a contribution to making some people inspired, happy, what have you, and a difference in their lives, really, because that's what music did for me. It gave me something to hold on to growing up with all the trials and tribulations of youth, and it still sustains me that same way to this day. Absolutely. When I put on some good music, I really get lifted. Troubles go away, etc., and that's the most pertinent thing I could ever want to be remembered for, is that I helped people, and I'm fondly remembered for that. There's nothing else that is better, in my opinion, than inspiring people and getting them through their life.
Well,
and that would be the main thing.
I was a teenager, 13, 14, when Stone Cold came out, and that song will always mean something to me. And just to be talking to you, it's just an absolute honour. But yeah, I know what you mean, exactly.
I appreciate that, Sebastian. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Finally, I'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas. And is there anything you'd like to say to our listeners and fans, your fans?
Well, thank you for that warm wish, and I'd like to wish everyone, yourself, your family, whoever, very, very happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a New Year successful and healthy. But I would like to say that to everyone that thank you for your support and love all these years, but make the world a better place. Let's try again this year. You know, we have learned a lot, and I think the world really needs to change, and we're the only ones that are going to change it. Music used to be a driving force, so let it be again this year more than ever, and do your part in changing the world for a better place. Well, hopefully I'll be seeing you guys very soon. You know, it's been too long, and we need to see everybody there in the UK again. So happy Christmas and best wishes for the new year, and I'll see you in 2015.
Everything's so crazy, you're tearing me apart. It's always a definite maybe, not enough, but you take it too far. You wanna get me to follow, but I